This is performance art. The Performance Art Festival started around 1988. It started in a way that we just said, we're interested in exploring about this art form. It sort of grew from there because it got so popular. We were able to go out and get some major funding. And in our second year, we brought in artists like Karen Finley and Zygmunt Piotrowski from Poland and Paul Zaloom. And we were immediately on the map, and we were immediately recognized sort of nationally and internationally, and it sort of grew from there. So we were able to bring in a huge wide range of artists from all over the world and capture them on video and photos, and it's all in our archives now, which is really wonderful. Performance art is the type of art form that sort of crosses boundaries more easily than other art. And so it sort of lent itself to international exploration. And so our festival became the largest festival of performance art in the world, and so artists all over would hear about it and want to sort of make the pilgrimage to Cleveland, if you will. It's actually a lot easier to talk about what performance art isn't, because performance art is not dance, it is not theater, it is not art, it is not music. A lot of these other art forms have pretty rigid rules. For example, if you have a dancer who comes out on stage and is doing a dance and then she opens her mouth and talks, that's probably not dance. Well, that kind of work would probably be welcome in performance art. So we see a lot of influence of performance art on mainstream culture. We also see things like in Cleveland we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum. We see institutions like the Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh. And again, he was very interested in a lot of the same issues and strategies that performance artists are interested in. I see theater productions like Rent, which, if you ever have seen that production, the characters in it are actually performance artists, and it was very popular, and people really related to that. Blue Man Group, who we presented in 1990 at the Performance Art Festival, are huge now. They're in 3 or 4 cities throughout the U.S. They're doing television commercials. So I do see that the concepts and the ideas of performance art are sort of living on in the mainstream. Well, I think it's important to acknowledge that this art form of performance art is something that is very ephemeral. It's something that took place when the art was happening, but once the art work is over, all you're left with are the memories in people's minds. Fortunately, we were documenting every performance with 2 cameras and photographs from the very beginning of our festival. And we've collected and we've saved all of these documents now in a repository. Well, in the archives for the Performance Art Festival, we have a lot of material. We've got over 2,000 hours of videotape. We have over 6,000 photographs as well. In addition to that, we've got artist fact sheets on most of the artists, which are a sheet that contains their biography, a photo, maybe some clips from news media that might have covered them. We have any reviews that were written of any performance artists that came to the festival, so there's some sort of critical basis for understanding and discussing performance art. We've got letters back and forth, both from artists as well as from audience members that have taken part and witnessed this. Well, that's one of the problems with videotape, or really any medium, is that it eventually disintegrates and starts to disappear. They're starting to lose their color. The audio track, which is out on the edge of the tape, starts to deteriorate, and you start to lose audio and sound. And really, this is just the nature of the medium. The only way to really stop this from happening is to preserve it, is to take it off that medium, put it on another medium. So it's sort of a challenge when things get to be more than 10 years old. And I think that's one of the issues that this art form, and a lot of art forms, are facing, is that they have documented some of these seminal early performances or artistic works, and they feel like, well, great, we did our work, and we put this on videotape, and we put it on the shelf, and it's preserved forever, but it's really not. So that's one of the things that we're addressing with this Performance Art Festival archive project, is to say, let's look at some of these early tapes and figure out a way to preserve them, to capture the quality and stop it from deteriorating over time. I think we have an opportunity with this Performance Art Festival archives to really be a major center and repository for performance art of the past couple decades, because really there's no one else, to my knowledge, that's really got this kind of a collection. What we've got is more than just the documents of the performances. We have really the Performance Art Festival and its effect on the community, its effect on people, and their responses as well, which is kind of interesting.